Okay. Right now, like in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I'd like to call this special meeting of the Douglas City Council to order, December 4th, 2024 at 9:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mayor Donald Hewish.
Here.
Mayor Secretary Morales. Ready. Councilmember Jose Montaño. Councilmember Tanya Acosta.
Present.
Thank you, Councilmember Acosta. Can you please provide us with your password?
241204W3.
Thank you. And what is your location?
Flagstaff, Arizona.
Thank you. And is anyone else with you?
My husband and my youngest son.
Thank you. Councilmember Ray Shelton.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Vallanegro.
Present.
Councilmember Richard Acosta. City Manager Ana Kiko. Present. City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons.
Present.
City Treasurer Luis Pedrosa.
Present.
Thank you. I just swear for the record, council members, Jose Montaño and Richard Acosta are excused.
Thank you. Item number 4, presentation discussion item A, Douglas Unified School District pertaining to kids at home. So keep calling, you decide.
Mr. Mayor. If you can. Back to item number.
Thank you. This is wishing to address the council. Thank you. For Douglas Unified School District pertaining to kids at home. Please.
Yes, we have a presentation by our superintendent of the Unified School District.
So you
Welcome, good to see you again. Mayor Hewish, Councilman, it is an honor to be here today representing Douglas Unified School District as the superintendent and introducing a little bit about what our kids at Hope philosophy is at Douglas Unified. And with me today are 2 of our teachers that are going to speak a little bit about what Douglas Unified School District is doing with kids at Hope. And it is our vision in the future to embrace this philosophy along with our community, and that's why we're here today. So Ms. Navarro.
So, thank you, Ms. Samaniego, for the introduction. My name is Paloma Navarro, and I am proudly representing Sarah Riley. I'm the kindergarten teacher, and I am sure to talk all about kids at home. Okay, so kids at home. I was very lucky to be invited to participate in this great movement that we're starting at the USC by our superintendent, Alison Minero. I'm a bit nervous, sorry. Can I see the slide so I can go through it? Thank you. And then, oh, I need to turn it on. Okay. Going to point this way. Yeah. Okay, so what is hope? This is Rick Miller, and he is the one who started Kids at Hope. His definition of hope is hope possesses both the capacity and ability to mentally time travel by positively imagining one's future with its life's four major destinations. So destination number one, home and family, education and career. Destination number two, destination number three, community and service. And destination number four, hobbies and recreation. Then he wants us to return to the present and prepare for that journey. There is three components to Kids at Hope. First is establishing goals. Two is creating pathways. And three, agency. In order to give hope to our community, we have to have clear goals that are achievable. We have to create those pathways of how are we going to get there, and we have to build agency in our students, in our community, to reach and fight for those goals. There is a few universal truths which establish that children and youth will succeed when they are surrounded by adults who believe they can succeed too. And the main thing is that there is no exceptions to any student, any community member. As you can see here, there is a deck of aces, and each represents something to us. The first is the anchor parent. Second is other caring adults. Third is high expectations, and fourth, opportunities to succeed. We are responsible for mostly three of those cards. If you have children, you're responsible for all four of them, and we are capable of giving those to them. And sometimes as teachers, we become that heart card also for our kids. So we have a huge responsibility on us to give them what they need, which is hope. We are establishing the mindset to our students to time travel because this is not a program, it's a philosophy that we want them to get to know. And I'm starting with my little kinders over there. They know in my classroom that I believe that they can be successful and there's no exceptions. Our plan so far has been to read a pledge, which I will share with you soon. We are training the trainer by giving that information to our kinders. They can go home and give that information to their parents. They can go home and give that information to their cousins, sisters, neighbors, anyone that they have daily conversations with. And lastly, to really say the no exceptions over and over, using vocabulary for them to know that we believe in them. Some of our plans have been to make our schools more beautiful, make our adults feel at home also, because we also should feel treasured and valued in our schools, in our communities. And here is the pledge. I would now like to invite my kindergarten students to come join me so we can read the pledge. This is Ashley, Jesus, Angela, Misael, and Caro, and they will say the pledge with me. Ready, boys and girls? Okay. 3, 2, 1. I am a kid of hope. I am talented, smart, and capable of success. I have dreams for the future, and I will climb to reach those goals every day. All kids are capable of success. No exceptions. And I would like to ask everybody here to keep the no exceptions part with us. Ready? 3, 2, 1. No exceptions. Thank you so much. Now, there's more information about the summit that was attended and how we can be adults at home. Thank you so much.
I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm a hand talker, so. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and members of the community. My name is Melanie Molina. I was born and raised in Douglas, and I've been an educator with Douglas Unified School District for about 14 years. First and foremost, I want to thank you for allowing my superintendent, my fellow colleague, and I to come and discuss the cause that we strongly believe in. Becoming an adult at home was not a decision I made lightly. In fact, it is no secret that personally, the opportunity to be part of the Kids at Hope initiative came at a time when I admittedly was low in hope. I was overwhelmed with feelings of desperation, just battling situation after situation, task after task, when I was feeling at a time alone and had no one to turn to. I attended the first day of the At Hope mini session and immediately knew that I had made the right choice. Rick Miller not only changed my way of thinking, but he gave me a cheat sheet on how to pass it forward. As we mentioned, Kids at Hope is not another program. As a teacher, I know the last thing that we want to do is add something else to our plates. So it needs to be said, we're not adding anything to anybody's plate. In fact, we're just making it stronger. The Kids at Hope initiative is a simple change in mindset, a positive way of acting rather than thinking. It's eliminating what my pastor calls a stinking thinking and allowing us to teach students to bounce forward rather than backward. We cannot control the cards that some of our students have been dealt, but we have the power to help them rise above any of the challenges that they may face. This past September, I was invited to attend the Kids at Hope conference, and among the attendees were not just educators. There were probation officers, CPS workers, members of the Boys and Girls Club, all of whom understood that they had the power to impact a child's life. All of whom were looking to utilize every opportunity to make an impact. It was amazing to see a room full of adults who all believe that every child is capable of success, no exceptions. As I watched Ms. Novato's presentation and as the students that came up, I was reminded of how elementary students basically buy into everything that we're selling as a teacher. It's easy to get students and families involved. Elementary students are like clay, they're easily molded. They believe that if we tell them, hey, you're going to achieve this, they believe it. And as a middle school teacher, I know we are a different breed. And well, when we talk about high school, we know that that's just a whole entire world on its own. Nonetheless, we want to eliminate the title of at risk and label every student in our district at hope. And our goal is to implement time traveling using the goals, the pathways, the agencies in all USD schools. Our goal is to have Douglas become a city at hope. We want our students to start focusing on their future, making goals, making a plan on how to get there, and having everyone in our community involved to make it happen. An idea that was presented during the conference that I attended that I would love to initiate in our district is a themed career night. For example, have jobs that make a school district run. We'd have bus drivers, custodians, food service, HR, administration, teachers. And students could see all the different employment opportunities that there is. We could even expand this to our city, jobs that make our city run. We want our kids to start envisioning their future, to have hope, to take ownership in their future and make it happen. We want them to know that they aren't alone, that they can and will make it through and be successful. To conclude, I have a question for you guys. Would you like to join our initiative and become an adult at home? Yes. No, maybe so. But I'm gonna share with you our pledge. Do we have, you said we have more? Yes. And if you could, can we get another one, please? We would all just read the Treasure Hunters Pledge with me. Are we ready? Yes, okay. As an adult and treasure hunter, I'm committed to search for all the talent, skill, and intelligence that exists in our children and youth. I believe that all kids are capable of success, no exception. Thank you.
That's the presentation and a lot of this initiative. And we look at home day education council and discuss that and see how we can implement that in our places of interaction with youth. Very much. I'm a believer that everybody's a teacher, whether or not everybody you can come in contact with, you can teach them something. Not that we're gonna tell them that, but I think we have a positive influence always and give everyone that hope. And I hope all of us will look out for individuals that we see that may look a little bit down and say hello to them. It's amazing to me that that was such a friendly place that we do say hello to each other, even though we don't know each other, we see each other on the streets or at the store. And I would especially encourage all of us when we see young people. You know, in today's society, unfortunately, we have to protect our children. That doesn't mean that from a distance, close distance, and we can't smile and say hello with their parents that are present to you, public influence on their street. And ask them how it's going, how's school, how's life, community sports, what's your favorite subject, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because as they see our interest as adults, it'll give them motivation that they are someone, give them hope. Thank you very much. Item number 5, discussion decision on item A, second reading of ordinance number 24-1203, an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, rezoning 0.15 acre parcel of land in Douglas lots 21 and 22, lot 96. As a demonstration method from general commercial GC to multi-family residential MFR, amending the official zoning district map, establishing severability of one ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Ms. Coleman, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is the second reading of ordinance number 24-1203, a rezone for a parcel 0.15 acres in size. It is located on 11th and F on the corner. It's currently general commercial, and they're proposing to change it to multifamily residential to align with the current land use. The Planning and Zoning Commission met on November 7th, 2024, and recommended approval for the rezone of the parcel. The proposed amendment aligns with the current advances of the current general plan, including providing sufficient range and opportunities for a safe, decent, and affordable housing, as well as a creation of cohesive neighborhoods and meeting the current needs of residents of the city of Douglas.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. May I have a motion for the second reading? Yes, please, Mr. Morales.
I move the mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1203 by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-2203 by number and title. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 5B, discussing decision on second reading of ordinance number 24-1204. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, rezoning a 2.66 acre parcel of land located at 1120 15th Street and 1151 16th Street with legal description of McGuire All Block 17-04 LV 50, commercial from multifamily residential MFR to general commercial GC, and amending an official zoning district map, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
So for the second reading, the Planning and Zoning Commission also met on November 7th and recommended approval for the rezone. The proposed amendment aligns with advances for the goals, objectives, and policies outlined in the general plan, increasing commercial land use. The rezone affects development patterns in the area, aiming to accommodate for compatible land use in the vicinity. Currently, the proposal is for the pediatric Chiricahua Community Health Center. The development would aid Douglas in providing essential healthcare services and enhancing the area's economic viability by blending the commercial and the community-oriented goal in the area.
Thank you, Ms. Gomes. We have a motion regarding the second reading.
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Shelton.
I move that the mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1204 by number and title only.
Is there a second? Second. Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mr. Valadero to approve the second reading of ordinance number 24-1204 by number and title only. Any question or discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 5C, discussion decision on first reading of ordinance number 24-1205. Ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. One, approving the sale, execution, and delivery of pledged revenue obligations series 2025, evidencing all the interest of the owner thereof in the purchase agreement. Two, approving the form authorizing the execution and delivery of necessary agreements, instruments, and documents related to the sale, execution, and delivery of such obligations. Three, adoption post-issuance tax compliance procedures in connection with the issuance of obligations of the city. Four, delegating authority to the mayor, the city manager, and the deputy city manager, and the finance director to determine all certain matters and terms with respect to the foregoing. And five, authorizing the taking of all other sections necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by this ordinance, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. On June 12, 2024, you approved the payout of the call center loan, if you might recall. That freed up an annual debt service of $462,000 for fiscal year 2025. That was earmarked towards the financing of the acquisition of the new asphalt plant and related equipment. The ordinance as being presented tonight is to authorize us to begin the finance mechanism, and it comes with staff's recommendation for approval. While the final terms cannot be determined until the request for proposals process concludes not to exceed parameters. These parameters set a maximum total amount of $4 million, an interest rate cap of 8%, and a maturity date no later than 2040. This approach provides flexibility as the city solicits bids for financing. The recommended desired financial terms based on the guidance of our financial advisors and considering the annual debt service capacity of $462,000 suggest a loan term of 10 years with an estimated interest rate of 4.5%. Again, we won't know this until we actually go out for bids, but that is our expectation and our goal. However, providing caps at an interest rate term and amount provides us with enough flexibility and latitude to extend terms that align with our debt capacity amount of $462,000 per year. More specific and finalized terms are anticipated to be included in the second reading of this ordinance at our next regular meeting. At the January regular meeting. We also want to mention that we presented this to our Finance Committee on November 20th, and they did not voice any concerns. The proposed contract for the acquisition is currently under review by our city attorney. At this point, we'll entertain any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. We have a motion regarding the placement of the ordinance. Yes, please, Mr. Morales.
I move that the mayor and council approve the ordinance 1205 on a third reading by another title.
You have a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Valentino, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the placement of ordinance number 24-1205 on the first reading by number and title only. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. One, approving the sale, execution, and delivery of fresh revenue obligations, series 2025, evidencing all the interests of the owner thereof on the purchase agreement. And two, approving the form authorizing the execution and delivery of necessary agreements, instruments, and documents related to the sale, execution, and delivery of such obligations. And three, adopting post-issuance tax compliance procedures in connection with issuance of obligations of the city. Four, delegating authority to the mayor, the city manager, the deputy city manager, and the finance director to determine certain matters and terms with respect to the foregoing. And five, authorizing the taking of all other actions necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by this ordinance, establishing several components of the ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. I have a motion regarding the approval in the first reading.
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr.
I
Morales.
move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1205 and place it on the second reading by number and title.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Vallejo, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the first reading of ordinance number 24-1205 and place it on second reading by number and title only. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton.
Yes.
Councilmember Valdez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, the motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona. One, approving the sale, execution, and delivery of pledged revenue obligations, series 2025, evidencing all the interests of the owner thereof in purchase agreement. And two, approving the form authorizing the execution and delivery of necessary agreements, instruments, and documents related to the sale, execution, and delivery of such obligations. Three, adopting post-issuance tax compliance procedures in connection with issuance of obligations of the city. Four, delegating authority to the mayor, the city manager, the deputy city manager, and the finance director to determine certain matters and terms with respect to the foregoing. And five, authorizing the taking of all other actions necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by this ordinance, establishing separately the components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item number 5B, discuss the decision on city flag design. Ms. De La Torre, please. All in favor, please lead off.
I will lead off and I will, with the assistance of Ms. Ella. And we get the presentations, but as we pop up the slides on the screen, I don't see them, as they're getting populated on the screen, I'll go ahead and do a little summary down here. So this is coming back to report on the progress of the city flag and trying to get, direction, maybe a decision on an official city flag. We came to you, the last council meeting, regular meeting of November, with the background of being evident that the city lacks an official city flag. Mayor Hewish had suggested some time back to gather art concepts from local art students to inspire the development of such a flag, which represented our history and the various elements that are endearing to our history. We had some response from a DHS class, and we took inspiration from what we received. And through the assistance of some of our own artistic talents within our own staff, Ms. Nikki Romero, aka Nikki, she's been able to transform some of those elements, and we want to show you some of those designs today. So what I'd like to do is, there's another file, I'm sorry, I can't see over the, there's another file that I'd like to begin with on the survey, please. Yes, thank you. So we presented some concepts at the last meeting, and what I'd like to do is kind of go through and speak to what we received back in responses in high level terms. We received many responses, many positive, some not so positive, but Nikki, can you help me just kind of let me through that, please? So the first set of metrics here is showing the age distribution of those responses we received. And I'm going to say that we received about 50 total responses, 56 total responses. Nikki and staff went out to really try and pick up the different segments of our population. Some military, branch, some of our youth and whatnot. So that first slide kind of shows the distribution of community responses. Although it was only 50, it is very hard sometimes to collect these, as we've seen in the past. But I wanted to give you kind of an idea of what that metric was on, as we go through, I think, just a series of questions. So the next one is actually speaking to ranking our, okay, what are your thoughts on the city of Douglas flag design after learning about the symbolism behind each element? So these are just color coded, but you can see that the good prevails there. We looked at the metrics, and the other sections were more recommendations, but when we grouped together the survey on love it, like, or okay, that was all of the blue. Dislike, what are the other categories?
Strongly dislike.
Strongly dislike.
And other.
And other. So the orange is the dislike and strongly dislike, the gray is other, and the blue represents the love it, like it, and appreciate. So that gives you just a high level on the symbolism. I do want to go over a little bit about the symbolism once we bring up the concepts again. And then we went on to ask, how would you rank your thoughts on the city of Douglas flag design after learning about the symbolism behind each element? And this was important because if you just look at the design and don't connect to the symbolism that was provided with the survey, you don't make those connections. But I believe here it really shows good, prevailed. Again, it was a compilation of I love it, I like it, and it's okay, is the blue.
I dislike it, strongly dislike it, is the orange, and the other were primarily comments, and some suggestions on the tree. What symbols, colors, or elements would you include or change, if any? Consider what makes Douglas unique, its history, culture, geography, values, and we can, kind of go over what some of those are. Some of the prevailing comments, have to do with the symbols, the colors, the design, and other, I believe the total here were in the 30s.
That was 39.
39, and, it doesn't necessarily show in the metric if they would include it or change it. We have to kind of deep dive into the comments, but we went through all of those comments as well. The next. Do you believe the flag design represents the core values of Douglas? Half is pretty much at least from a visual, there's that yes. Again, I love it, I like it, or it's okay, versus the no, I dislike it, I strongly dislike it, and then the other with some suggestions. Considering Douglas motto, so we have our kind of our tagline under our logo that we've adopted for, I believe, the past 8 years. Embracing our heritage and advancing our future is kind of the core of all we do in our goals moving forward as well. It's not necessarily a strategy, but it is a motto. What do you consider to be part of our heritage, just to ask for more ideas, and what do you think is the future for Douglas? So a lot of that commentary focused mostly on heritage, followed by, what did I say, businesses, then future, and then other. So we have extrapolated a couple of things from the majority of the comments that it was felt that some of the business district was not represented as well in the logo. Some thought it was also that we did include our partnering city or our neighboring city of Mexico as well. Those seem to be the two main points that we were able to extrapolate that some of the surveys felt were not included. And then if we can go to the other file, please, for the design. And so as we put these up, I'm going to kind of go over. So this is a concept that Nikki has placed as an additional concept to add into any of the designs that we're going to go through. Our beautiful sunset colors are shown there, and then some of our historic buildings showing the requested relevance to our business district, especially in our downtown area. And I know there's a line right on but it shows the depot, the Yanston,
And the Grand Theater.
and the Grand Theater. So some of our historic gems. Our next slide, please. And then this starts showing the same crest that had been seen before on different backgrounds. Now, the different backgrounds are a mountainscape that we thought could incorporate more of the mountainscape, not just the hill, but the suggestion is that we replace where the D hill is and include the mountainscape that extends into our neighboring community here in Nueva, which would include D hill, some of the mountainscape that goes into Cerro Gallardo, and show some of that, and then replace the inner circle color to reflect the top suggestion with some of those historic buildings there. And we would still incorporate the train concept, which was very important to, based on the comments from the last council meeting as well. Next slide. Just trying to get a feel for color schemes as well. The top one if you can maybe discuss that one again, what that includes and what's different, please.
So in the top design, basically what's different is that our sunset's incorporated into the background of the center of the crest. But also we have our landscape on the bottom, including the downtown streetscape. So I would like to just basically incorporate all of these aspects and have a little splash of color as well.
Okay, and then what I wanted to also showcase that is there, but it's not, it hasn't really been seen as the very center, is a little more zoomed out in the bottom circle, which really is, and it shows, and I don't think we can zoom in here, but what it shows is the two arrows indicating world trade and business for the community, and kind of showcasing the future of our businesses and trade and economic impact. And I don't know that that was connected with some of the comments that maybe businesses didn't realize the meaning of that and how we interpreted that to be pointing to the position of the globe, where Arizona or Douglas is with the Purple Heart, but it's not something I can blow up here. I don't know if it's something we can zoom into. But that was a component there, and I know it gets busy, and that was, that were some of the those were some of the comments focused on the busyness, but I want to speak to that still. Next slide, please. And these are just a little more renderings with some of the color, and then the last, is this the 7, number 7? Okay. So number 7 is the bottom one, and that kind of reverses the circle, putting what we had previously inside as the sun circle around the globe is now the outside. And Nikki, can you speak to that change there?
Yeah, so what was on the outside definitely made it look a little bit heavier. And with this change, it encompasses our unity with the description of what the sun means in Native American culture is happiness. So I kind of wanted to totally encompass Douglas with happiness and unity and our resilience over time with those alternating black and white dots.
So is this the final page on the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go back to see just one of the original here. Yeah, so I want to just take a moment to describe the symbols on what that original outer circle meant. They're still contained in all of these elements, but that's the importance of trying to come up with an emblem that defines our heritage and what Douglas represents. I think it could be many things, but it is busy for a reason. And I want to just quickly read through what some of those items are. So it's very difficult to see on that screen. I see on this screen and I'm seeing it on the TV very different. I just realized that. So much more vibrant colors on the screens, on the televisions than on the overhead here. So as we look at that, and you will be able to detail the difference, but I just want to share, there's family represented. It's emblematic of the community's strong family values and the close-knit bonds cherished by our Douglas residents. There are water droplets on there, 3 droplets symbolizing the transformative monsoon rains, which bring life to our vegetation and uplift our community spirit. There's a creosote bush represented. This plant, which emits a distinct sound before rainfall in our Douglas area, captures the nostalgia and local knowledge of our region's rain season, a part of our heritage. Additionally, the creosote bush symbolizes resilience as it thrives in harsh desert conditions, representing the strength and endurance of the Douglas community. We include a pine tree to represent our plant life, symbolizing growth, continuities, deep-rooted heritage of our community. And And there was, a pine tree named Douglas fir, so, that was thrown in as well as part of the symbolism. The mountainscapes, mountains stand for our surrounding mountain ranges, as is the embodiment of abundance and prosperity, reflecting our collective strength and communal spirit and natural beauty, defining not only our city's landscape, but our neighboring city's landscape as well. We have our pride purple, our mascot of Douglas High School, a symbol of community pride, represents loyalty and tradition. Once a bulldog, always a bulldog. We have our copper pig, a homage to the second oldest rivalry in the United States, commemorated by a kicking. And then we have the love of music, depicted by a symbol of a guitar, representing the role of music unifying the community throughout song and dance. We have some original smokestacks. We represent our ranching by cow, lamb, and chicken, all in one, or 3 in 1, representing ranching heritage and ongoing agricultural contributions. Our helmet honoring the deep respect for military services was the Purple Heart on the global trade arrows as well. Our airplane is an outline of the Amidrogen K2 model that sits at our airport, a municipal airport symbolizing our rich aviation history. And baseball symbolized here as well, commemorating our remarkable history in our, actually, the achievement of the 1958 Douglas Copper Kings, who made baseball history with a record-breaking game. So there's so much packed in here, and we have, as I mentioned, the globe circled by the sun and these original items. And we just think that sometimes busy is for a reason, because it speaks to many elements of our community. Now, what the background looks like, I think could be almost anything. We can leave a white background, we can use our logo colors as the background. Here you just see some examples with some very vibrant colors. It could be very banner like the flag, but the crest itself, with the incorporation of some of the historic buildings, I think really resonates and goes with, so far with the community to share in their responses from the different sectors and age groups and demographics that we have surveyed, to be a majority leading as recommended for a flag. I'll open it up for questions and.
Thank you very much. We have, yes, please, Mr.
Ms. Torres, have you got any response to any of the options that you displayed here today?
No, this is the first time that I am displaying these options.
What do you like the most?
I love the crest from option 7. I feel like I've taken your considerations and I kind of went off on my own interpretation of that. But I do feel like that kind of represents more of what Douglas is. We're not just a border town, we're way more than that. And we have so much history involved in the whole of our town. You know, we have a lot to show for. And I feel like our flag represents most, if not all, of our history.
We can show option 7 again, please. At the very end, this would be the bars.
So my question to you, which one, I like the one here. I like the colors. Maybe a little bit lighter colors on top. White, so that you can see more of the aircraft tags. But I think that to me, we have to point.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Okay, the number 7, I really like that. It's got the trains, the smelter, the plane, the cow, the chicken, the baseball, whatever. And then how would the back look?
The back, you mean the background?
No, there's 2 sides so
I believe it would probably either mirror itself or be blank on the back? Just so that we can display, kind of like a banner in a sense?
Now, coming into town, well, we had the underpass. Was it Geronimo or was it Cochise?
Cochise.
Cochise, okay. So, yeah, Geronimo never had a picture. Now, another Cochise, Geronimo would come out and find, see us fly. The photographer in Bisbee and Tombstone, and he'd have his picture taken all the time. He'd go searching for it. But Cochise. That was the only thing, I thought, maybe the picture was wrong. But I love this. This blends in everything, with falling, falling to the light back then.
Thank you, Mr.
It
Jones.
was excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes,
could you
please.
just bring down option 7?
Option 6. 7 is over actually.
7 is,
Six-
yes.
6 is the above.
Is it 6? No, I like option 7. I do like the sunset, the colors. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. In option 7, wrote the city of Douglas, any idea? I know most you didn't put it on there.
I'm still kind of leaning towards putting them towards the bottom. In the bottom left corner would be the logo.
Like the option 6 shows in the left corner.
Mhm. Of course, it is subject to change depending on how we see fit.
I know you mentioned mirror on the backside. I wonder, I don't know how, or artistic mind, of how the logo enlarged would be on the backside and this on the front side. I don't know, but I think we're on the right track, and I appreciate that. So if you get a formal motion at the council, unless you have any more questions.
Yeah, but maybe a food for thought on that, you might want to put Douglas, not big with the gas and the train station and maybe another. And I still haven't looked, that's my thought.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, please, Mrs. Acosta, please.
Yes, thank you, Nikki, and everybody involved in this project. I'm not sure, can you hear me?
Very clearly.
Okay. They're all great ideas. I like option 7. I appreciate that that's your favorite design. I would really like to see in whatever design that is finalized that we include D Hill. D Hill is, we see D Hill driving into town. I mean, we see it day and night now. So there's been, so much, I think that represents, that D Hill represents for us, especially with the committee that lit the D and just making it, more visible for everybody. So thank you for all those designs. They're wonderful.
Thank you for catching that, Mrs. Acosta. You're absolutely right. It's showing that 7, but it doesn't, you have so many other options for you to come out.
So on the bottom is actually, I got a little bit creative and I went onto Google Maps and I took screenshots of the landscape and then I traced it completely. So all of that landscape below is Saddle Gap, D Hill, so.
We'll just need to put.
Yeah.
Excellent. Mr. Keelan, did you want a motion from us to which one we prefer?
Yes, so I'm hearing that option 7, and that is staff's recommendation. I wonder, so I love the D Hill concept. I wonder if the incorporation of our very first design with some of the historic business district could be incorporated into it. Into 7 with D Hill, I think would be the motion of choice.
That meet with everyone's approval on the council.
In other words, you're saying that section.
Very good. That's an excellent concept to consider. We can do the backside. If we can go, is that still a Greece or we can go roll all the way to the top to the concept that incorporated the historical buildings?
Previous slides.
I think it's the top of that page. Right?
Yeah, it should be option one.
This could be your backside page.
With our logo in the middle, come to.
But there,
Is that your paintings?
that could be your.
But the council have.
Or it could be Meriden.
I think. Be nice to have it first slide. I see what it looks like. And, we'll leave that to staff, but I think you have an idea what the council is.
Very good.
I mean, I like to hear from the public. But there were people that's fine. So that they are, just like our closest audience. Very, huh? Which one do you like, Mr.
I appreciate the creativity.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nikki, and everyone. I agree, you got it, narrowed down to the area. Thank you. One item, I.E. vision accomplishments of mayor and council in 2020 or 2024.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
taking a vote on.
did you want that? Did somebody put it in a form? Mr. Sheldon's gonna give it a whirl.
I move that the mayor and council select and approve option 7. The first one. I don't know. As a design concept for the official city flag.
To incorporate
Incorporating the concept and the original design of that.
Yes.
And
There's a second?
And
The concept. Got all that, somebody?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Sheldon, second by Mrs. Morales. Any other questions or input on that? Motion?
Mayor.
Yes, please, Mrs. Morales.
This fact also be presented at the week of student calendar here.
They even invite you back to the design fair. Roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 5A, discussion. Decision, vision and accomplishments of the mayor and council 2020 through 2024. Mr. King, please.
yes, presentation only on this item.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Great work. Mayor, members of the council. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. You got ahead of me. So this is a presentation, mayor and members of the council to reflect and celebrate the vision and accomplishments of the mayor and the city council over the past 4 years. As Mayor Hewitt concludes his term this month, we will also acknowledge the contributions of Ward 1 Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Margaret Morales, whose term is also ending this month. The current city council also includes Jose Montaño, Ward 2, Daniel Rosa, Ward 3, Ray Shelton, Ward 4, Michael Baldwin, Ward 5, and Richard Acosta, Ward 6. Credits also include the representation of former council members Mitch Lindeman and Mayor-elect Jose Icaba, who is also the council member for Ward 6 during many of the decisions on many of these items that we will be recognizing or seeing accomplished. Both of these former council members stepped down from Wards 2 and 6 respectively to run for office, respectively, I'm sorry, also respectively, to run for office in 2024. So we have put together a video of appreciation and a photo showcase. And we hope that you can see as we go through the montage of the different videos and photos that it addresses the key initiatives that were accomplished under each of our policy priorities. That you see the organizational efficiencies and the key initiatives that were accomplished during the tenure of Mayor Hewitt, and the collaborative efforts and achievements with key stakeholders and partners. Our policy advancements and governing success as a mayor and council, as a governing body of this wonderful community, and community programs that have been fostered, and all of the capital investments and grant successes that we have been able to accomplish. So with that, we will go through a video in your honor.
Wait for the popcorn. Very much. Tell you about this. I appreciate it because it shows what we've been able to do. We had challenges, but we've always been positive about to be able to do that. And I promised myself I wouldn't say much because I'll get more emotional, but I have some of my family here today. My wife, it's like how many times in the hospital bed, I just give me a letter of resignation. Remind you, council members, staff that with their support. I get through. We did. More than anything, I think we've noticed a lot of pictures, a lot of accomplishments and things like that that you can physically see, but I think one of the main accomplishments that we set out to do is to make sure we did things the right way, for the right reasons. And I think we've accomplished that, and that's more than anything. I appreciate the chief mentioning the legacy, and many times people view legacies as far as monuments and stuff like that. But my people have asked me many times, which I've had many titles throughout my life. My two favorite ones are dad and grandpa. Those are the ones that I want to get back to now. And so I welcome that. I miss you all deeply in this wonderful community. That doesn't mean that I'm leaving. And thank you as a community for the prayers. And you know, I'm a firm believer in prayers. They make a difference in my life. And I appreciate that. We'll have a few hurdles ahead of me. You know what they are right now. And we'll be through. And also, each of the council members has been great, but I especially want to thank this young lady next to me who's didn't know what she was getting into and asked her if she'd serve as mayor pro tem. Then I got ill and she had to carry a lot of load and income. I knew that everything needs to be good hands. So again, thank you for the great honor, and I'll give some time to Mrs. Morales if she can make it through. Please, Mrs. Morales.
Yeah. I first want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as your mayor pro tem. It's been an honor and privilege to serve with you. And the friendship that you and I have developed. It's been wonderful, especially in our charity. We've accomplished a lot. It's a lot to accomplish. And I know this staff will continue your legacy, and we will continue to work with Steve Douglas. But it's a privilege to have so many talented and dedicated employees. I didn't bring my town on the council. I started back in 2008. I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. I had the support, the encouragement from the late Bob Hernandez, Mayor Bowles, pushed me. I really didn't want to get into politics. They said, you can do it, you can do it. And I'm so glad that I was able to serve on the council. You know, Lower Lake Iron Jewish was a great mentor for me. Provided a lot of leadership. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to the staff. We have an amazing staff. And I think Anthony Clevy at the luncheon today said it. Staff is momentous. I'm thankful for the constituents too, my ward that voted and elected me to serve as their representative for Ward 1. There's also Pisangari who've been always there for me to answer questions, concerns that I have. And this is a people to you. Your professionalism, your leadership, and I'm so proud that I got the opportunity to work with you all these years. This being on the council, but most of all, I will serving Mr. Jewish, the Mayor Jewish. Yeah, thank you. I retired already 3 years ago, but I have a family, I have a grandson, grandchildren, and I'm enjoying my time with them. My travels, travels. And thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Mrs. Morales. Okay.
Yeah, well, after being on the city council for 13 years, most of with Margaret also. It's been an honor to know Margaret and we've been friends. You know, a friend's a person you can call up and say, hey, we're up to there and what. But I appreciate Margaret and all her professionalism that she's used and all her discretion that she has used during being city council for us. So good luck, and I think you've got a trip planned and enjoy all your grandkids and always, you know, remember these times that you sit down and done all these things. Now, this December evening is part of your farewell to this honorable position of mayor of Douglas. You are leading with a reputation of being an exceptional leader and person. We realize that you have trusted in God to keep you in good health. Along with all your physical conditions, you made excellent decisions. Your educational background and the love of Douglas has shown through. Now you look to the future, and I know it will be great to enjoy your family. So, your name will go down in the history of Douglas as being a very respected and loved individual. You have been very reliable, you've been very honest, you've even been easygoing. All of these things that one person is, you've used good common sense and helping us make decisions. Now, as this video told us about all your professionalism, sitting down with many congressmen, not only here in Douglas, but in Phoenix, but especially in Washington, D.C., to help us out. We have made great growth in looking at our airport and trying to sell part of it and do that, and also paving the runways. We're looking at improving the golf course and the RV park, and also golf house out there. We're going to be doing the downtown revitalization. And of course, we need to think about the port of entry, which we had an excellent meeting today out of the port and the luncheon. You know, Uncle Ivan used to sit right here. You know, the Hewishams came to Douglas in 1940, and it was 110 years. And you know, the Jewish name is, well, I have a Jewish name growing up in this. Very Jewish, they really want to play football. And your last name is very, very popular. So, once again, I pay all my respects and all your encouraging this young man here to stay on board and help us do what Douglas needs to do. So, good luck and God bless. And I want to still I know I haven't done articles about the Jewish family coming to Douglas, and then one concern is just because football. So maybe one of these days I can sit down and start doing that again. And now since you're not visiting, just to get me.
Thank you, Mr. Sheldon. Thank you so much. I mean, I do owe you that historical information on that. I'll get that here. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Costa.
I may not be your favorite, but but I know we love each other, and I really want to thank you. You know, like I shared the message with you last night. You know, we met in 2020 during our campaign, and it feels like it was just yesterday. But you know, that first year was so challenging. We came in like the midst of COVID and weren't sure what was going to happen, how to handle, you know, the pandemic. but we made it through. And, you know, I just want to thank you because I think that you've been an inspiration to all of us, you know, going through your illness and just showing that tenacity to just not give in, not give up, and to be here and look at us now. You're who would have thought? I mean, you've come such a long way, obviously health wise, and have moved our city forward in what we planned out. Our vision was back in 2020 or early 2021. And I just want to thank you. I know that a lot of times it has been challenging between us because we have not always agreed on things. But I do want to thank you for always being a gentleman about it. And I hope that we are a I just lost the word. I hope we can be role models in that, and that, you know, people can disagree, but we can still get along at the end of the day. We can still love each other as neighbors, as friends, as colleagues, and just because we disagree does not mean that, you know, there's a war starting between us. Again, thank you so much. Your leadership, your patience. I know I am full of ideas and sometimes a little difficult, but you have always, like I said, been a gentleman, and I truly appreciate that. I wish you nothing but the best. And we're not, you know, we're kind of neighbors too, so we're not very far away. Please, my door is open, and my family would love to have your family, you know, stay in touch. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Acosta. Yeah, it's, thanks. It's mutual. We move forward. They brought up some of the things that I don't like remembering. That's just the pandemic and migration situation and those type of things, but you know, we all put our heads together and we're able to get through it. It's greatly appreciated, so thank you. Anyone else? There. Okay, Mr. Brother, don't tell me old stories about us, please.
You know, you brought down retirement to run for a campaign,
Yeah.
the dream team. And so you here. I just want to say that you've been a beacon of the council to the difference. God put you here and bless you and continues to bless you. No matter where you've been, where you go, it will only be with you. And that very helpful. There's nothing more that I can add or to show to the record. It's a waste. But you have been a friend of mine. Father, you will be. I mean, this year.
Thank you. Mr. Brother, the feeling is mutual. We used to sweat on each other back in the basketball court. Many years ago, many challenges came. We used to have a very, very active middle school basketball program just in our middle schools. Us, the two middle schools in Loretto, we used to have our own league, and both the A league and the B league for the. So we go way back, and you know that taught me a lesson way back when we get after each other in middle school. You know, tooth and nail fighting with football and basketball, but then when we got to high school, we're all teammates. And what that taught me a great lesson that we compete, but when we get on the same team, we're all together. And I hope I carried that throughout my life to learn those valuable lessons. So thank you very much. Mr. Lindeman, I'd like to give you an opportunity to feedback the same thing of what we've done these past 4 years with your help.
I appreciate that, Mayor, our history goes back quite a ways, and I appreciate that. I've always, been working together and always felt we were a teammate. And when I got on the council, we were still teams. We're still working for the good of the community. I remember when I was, the director of band at the high school, and I came to you and I said, we need band uniforms. We got them. They lasted for 20 years. I really appreciate your friendship and always, and anything I can do, I'm here for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your service. Thank you very much. Hopefully that's it.
Yes, I will just conclude by saying, Mayor, that we will provide you your video for your keeping, but we will modify and add our fantastic photos from earlier today at our event out at the site of the new commercial port of entry, where you were recognized by the governor's office and then later in the day by all the congressional offices as well. So we will add that to complete that for you on your own. Thank you very much.
And maybe aware, I don't do real well with advice. So I won't tell you goodbye. Just tell you, see you later.
You're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I know, proud to announce that, grandchild number 20 will be arriving in, February in Idaho, and number 21 in July in, Tucson. I wish they could have flip-flopped those. My looking for the search forward to Idaho in February, could make it happen. It's all due to that, young lady right there in the blue dress. Knocked out my feet and said yes. All this.
And here,
Yes, please, Ms. Morales.
you and I have children that live close by, so you and I will still get together and watch a big dinner together, so.
Yeah, it's amazing where, all my boys and daughter live, a quarter mile of each other in the same area of the Moran. So, small world. It's a great world. But to invite you all to, stay afterwards, we have a little reception, Cynthia, which to look for.
Mayor, we have a presentation of awards as a final item, and I'll do the honors.
Item number 6.
Item number 6, presentation awards, having the deep appreciation to Marvin Morales for your generous dedication and service to the residents of the Douglas community. Please.
Yes, and we will do both, also honoring Mayor Hewish's leadership and appreciation of our dedicated leadership and commitment to the Douglas community. Join me down here and I will present you with your award. Been honored, so honored to do this. So this first is with deep appreciation presented to Margaret Morales, Council Member Ward 1, June 11, 2008 to June 8, 2016, March 14, 2018 to June 10, 2020. Appointed Mayor Pro Tem, June 17, 2020 to December 11, 2024. For your tireless dedication and service to the residents of the Douglas community, December 2024. Honoring your leadership, presented to Donald C. Hewish, Mayor, June 10th, 2020 to December 11th, 2024. in appreciation of your dedicated leadership and commitment to the Douglas community. Your vision and service have made a lasting impact. Thank you for your tireless efforts and unwavering dedication. December 2024.
Green cheese.
Also, the shopping. Okay. I feel I feel a little bit bad. City attorney who, lives in the great city of Casa Grande, came down for festivities this morning and, stayed for the senior night. I think should let him say at least something.
Time ago, and I really appreciate the fact that how well you guys all get along, and I appreciate Councilwoman Acosta's comments where she talked about you guys could disagree without ever getting disagreeable. And I think that's very remarkable in this day. I think every day. I think we all get so focused on the national scene, national politics, that we forget all the hard work that's done in city government, and it's these councils that actually get work done, typically because they're nonpartisan and they're citizens and they care for each other, they care for their citizens, and I think that's why you guys are so effective as a city councilors. That's lucky because there's cities having a lot of issues now, so you're lucky you guys have been so good, so effective, and the work on the port of entry has just been unbelievable. And it sets people that you actually got an amazing staff here that I don't know how they keep all the balls in the air. It's been fun trying to stay at home.
Thank you, Mr. Fitzhugh, and it's great to have you here and not on the screen. I'd like to invite you to stay, afterwards for a brief, with some refreshments there, and I'm so grateful for our community. And, thank you all for being here. Item number 7, adjournment.
Mayor?
Ms. Morales.
The last time.
For a second. Motion by the team of Morales and Shelton to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by nay? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned at 7:08 p.m.
Dennis, have a good evening.
That's all.